This, by the way, could be our first podcast episode.
It could, yeah.
I'm your first guest. Fuck whoever that person is. So the fact that you're even thinking this way makes you quite special. I just want to make sure you know that. Yeah. I know. Okay, I'm a little bit going, but I'm also proud of you. I'm like, I feel like I found someone who's like coming onto the journey with me. You know, going to help people. My fucking friend. I will fight for you. I will be dead soon. You'll still be doing this when I'm long gone, man. I need it. I need you to do it. All right? Because I'm not even seeing my kid anymore because I'm working so fucking hard on this. I've ever fucking owned a business that has golden handcuffs. That's where you're a little bit trapped. Well, because you've come. I don't know what happened to you at 19, but I'm pretty sure something hard happened to you. You seem like a clone of me. Like a taller, more handsome version of me right now. Younger, more handsome, taller version of me. Like failure is fucking awesome. My failures, I talk more about my failures than I do my successes because I have more lessons from it. It's such an annoying term, multiple income streams. So one thing you really fucking love that pays the bills, you can come and work with me. You know, maybe there's a way to go, you see? I think people always say, oh, it's so hard being an entrepreneur, it's so hard. You haven't worked for someone since you were 19 years old. You know how fucking hard it is to work for people? Yeah. Whack you around the face. Because that really fucks you up, yeah? What's your dream?
To start my podcast, and it's called Make It Big, and I want to just showcase the reality of entrepreneurship.
Is Make It Big not a distraction from what you just said though? If you say make it big, it kind of makes it out that you're going to make it big, because I think it's about doing what you love, not about making it big. I think it's about enjoying your work, making the word work positive.
Yeah, I guess Make It Big is different to everyone. Make it big, make your dreams big. Make it all big, whatever you want to do.
But I like it. I've just yesterday decided I'm not going on any more podcasts.
Oh, really?
Because I've been on too many, and I feel like I'm actually overworked. I'm working 18 hours a day, 7 days a week, and I'm like, I've got to start saying no to things.
Yeah.
But I'm going to say yes to yours.
You sure?
Yeah, because I think the mission you're on. Do you know what? 1 + 1 equals 11 as well. Like, I can't help people understand what it's like all on my own. So having someone like yourself step into the fray and do it, it feels like fate.
I'm gonna do it, yeah. Because I've had multiple businesses since I was 19, and I've had some traction. We did like 100 grand profit last year in a business, which is good, but it's just, it's the business isn't what I want to do, and I've been pulled towards this podcast. I just think there is
podcast is a little bit overdone.
Yeah.
And I think there's also like the commercialization of a podcast is really quite tough.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's something I can talk to you about another time.
Yeah. I think there's room for the best though, I think there's room for...
There is. I've just launched a new podcast too.
Wow.
And it costs an absolute fortune to do it right and compete now properly.
Yeah.
And
I'm paying for the studio out of my own pocket now. Just to get it.
But again, like, I started my first podcast 5 years ago.
Yeah.
I see it in your eyes. I wish that someone had told me all the things I know now about doing it. Because it sounds easy. You start a podcast. Most podcasts don't make it past episode 3. Because once you start paying out. You're like, I'm not getting any money back. I've only got 12 people listening to it.
Yeah.
So is it the most effective way to spend your money? You see what I mean?
Yeah.
And help people. You'd be better off walking up to someone in the street and giving them a bit of money. And recording that journey. You see what I mean? That's what I'm doing.
Yeah.
Even I did a podcast, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But it doesn't matter anyway, because I mean,
experience. I've been nagged towards it for years.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? I just feel like this is it.
Yeah.
I know it's going to be tough, but I'm making sure we do it right.
And that's what I'm kind of saying. I don't know why people don't tap into mentors and knowledge, because partly, have you talked to anyone else who's doing a podcast?
I've listened to one podcast just talking about,
Here's the irony. You're going on a journey to help people how to do things, and you haven't gone on the right journey to help you do the thing you want to do to help people.
Yeah.
So you know what I mean? But I'm going to help you. I'm going to tell you what I know. I'm going to try to help you commercialise it, because if you commercialise it, it's sustainable.
Yeah.
Right? It's not a charity, and it shouldn't be. It's not a charity, right?
Yeah. No,
so, and it shouldn't be, I don't think. I think a business that does good with the profit is the way to go, but that needs to be profitable. Your stamina, I lasted 2 years before I realised I have to make this commercial, and then I learned how the commercial side of a podcast works, and that made it sustainable.
Yeah.
Right, so that's something I would like to give to you as a gift. All right, we'll try and do that.
Yeah.
Well done, man. Respect to you. Yeah. And you also took my little bit of criticism about being too offended as well. It's quite important. You know that as an entrepreneur. That's how we get better, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I think that I don't know why as entrepreneurs we think we have to go through this journey on our own. Like, how many people have started a podcast and know the shit that you need to know? A lot. You need a mentor as much as anybody. I need a mentor, by the way.
Yeah.
I just got Richard Branson to help me, right? Because he knows more than me.
Yeah.
You see what I mean? Like, everyone, Elon Musk knows more than Richard Branson, I would guess. You know, like we all have that knowledge that the other person's missing. Because that's my journey, to transfer that knowledge to different people. Make sure you have it, because I want you to be successful in your podcast. You see what I mean?
It will do. It will. I tried doing it
No,
before.
it won't be if you don't have the knowledge.
Yeah.
It just won't. It can't be. Or you'll spend 5 years losing money before you understand how to make money from it. Why would you do that to yourself? But people do that every single day in the entrepreneur journey.
Yeah.
They don't ask for help, because asking for help seems to be the hardest thing ever. It is fucking hard. I can give you help, and I love it. Giving you help, I'm there. That's what you want to do. You want to give help. But asking for help, I even feel it now, a little bit of resistance, a little bit like, oh, I'll be fine, I'll be fine, I'll be fine, I'll be fine. Well, you're going to spend 2 years figuring out all the things I already fucking know. So you should be asking people that already know.
I definitely have help.
No, I know. I'm actually teaching people who might be watching this. We may never put this up. But I'm partly trying to teach people that why would you go through the pain of starting something on your own without actually just asking someone for fucking help? Because people want to help. The hardest thing is asking for help. So what you should have done, and this isn't having a go at you particularly, I'm trying to make a point here, is gone to someone who's got a podcast and said, listen, man, you've got a really successful podcast. Teach me. What do I need to know? Not half listen to some podcasts, but go and ask the people that have actually done it. So what do I need to do to make this podcast work? How do I get listeners? How do I get the views up? How do I get it so that I actually make money from it, so I can cover all the costs of the things I'm paying out of my own pocket for? Right? And people don't do that. But that's what I think your podcast could do as well. It could teach people that stuff. Right?
For sure.
And I'll put your podcast on my channel, Help Bank, if I can too, if you let me, because that's where everyone's going now to get help.
Yeah.
So hopefully your podcast can add to the content that we're doing to try and help people. Right?
Amazing.
How do you make money right now?
I've got two businesses. I've got a I sell on Amazon. I've been doing that for 6 years now.
Right.
I'd say we do well on it, but it's just not. It's not what I want to do. You know what I mean? I actually
It's a stepping stone to what you want to do.
Yeah, for sure. We do well from it. I own a hamper brand on there.
Okay.
And then also I've just.
It's your own brand?
It's my own brand.
So that's good. I think a lot of people do Amazon and don't own the brand. So
It's
you're
my
doing
brand.
it. Yeah, that's smart.
It's all on Amazon, and they're not great to work with as a seller. As you
Yeah,
might
it
know.
feels like a stepping stone for you, that. Because
It's a stepping stone. Yeah, it's called the golden handcuffs because I do well from it,
Yeah,
but
I
not
understand.
as where I want.
How old
to
are
go. I'm 28. Yeah.
Right, yeah. You seem a lot older, and I don't, not looking wise, just your maturity.
Yeah, I think 9 years of bashing away on business and just
But there's not many people at 28 are now turning their hand to like giving back. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that are still taking, even when they're successful. So the fact that you're even thinking this way makes you quite special. I just want to make sure you know that.
Appreciate that.
Yeah.
I see the podcast right now. They just feels like they're jamming them with the ads, and that's all they care about.
Yeah,
It's
but
just
by the way,
monetization,
be
which is
careful
important,
not
of
wanting
course.
to jam the ads because
No, I will do sponsors, but it just feels like that's what they're all about.
I did a podcast with no ads for 2 years. It didn't mean more people watched it.
Yeah.
Not one single ad in 200 episodes.
Yeah.
It did not mean more people watched it.
Yeah.
You understand what I mean?
Yeah, for sure.
Like, don't equate ads to people not listening to it.
It's the quality of the content.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's the value you bring in the content. That's why free has value, despite what people say.
Yeah.
Free has
Yeah.
value if you put value in free.
Yeah.
Right? So just make sure as you're building this, you don't get confused. Like, ads weren't the problem.
Right.
The quality of the content
Should
is the
override
problem.
the retention rate.
Yeah. And what you're talking about, the depth of what entrepreneurship really is what matters.
Yeah.
Not whether you have 5 ads on it. 5 ads just pays the bills. Fucking awesome.
Yeah. It's true,
Nothing wrong with ads.
Yeah.
Right, and I learned that myself by doing that.
think of it
I went the same thing, man. I did 2 years. I spent probably £150,000 doing a podcast with no revenue. Now I had the money to waste, but I don't think anyone should waste that money, including me.
Yeah.
I should have gone to someone that was doing it well. And the only person at the time that was doing it well was Gary Vee. And I just assumed it was just like put the content out, like he used to always say, 64 pieces of content. Remember that? You know, it's not about that anymore. It might have been back then. You know, see what I mean? Anyway, man, I'm giving you a bit of a lecture, but I'm doing it partly because I really believe there's something in what you're doing, but I also know there's no point in repeating history and making the same mistakes. Yeah? The sooner your podcast is profitable, the more you can promote it. The more you can actually get it out there in the world.
Yeah.
If you've got money coming in, you can boost it.
Yeah, that's what
You
we
can
do,
target people. You can't really do that if you're not making money from it. Unless you siphon off from your other businesses, which really isn't a sustainable product then. You know, that you have to make
I
it
feel
make
like
money.
just dropping everything and going all in on it. But I know that's not it's a tricky one. Yeah,
Well,
it's a tricky one.
there is another
Cashing
hack.
out my business.
By the way, this is another sort of brainstorm we can quickly have. Yeah?
Yeah.
So you've got a few options, right? One is cold turkey.
Cash out.
You've done that old thing. Now you're doing something new. But make sure the new thing you're doing, you know how to make money from, all right? Because you need. It's not necessarily. You might not need money. I don't know. But like your staff will need money. The landlord you rent the studio from will need money.
Yeah.
You'll need to buy equipment. So you'll need money, right?
Yeah.
So that's one, cold turkey. But before you do that, make sure you understand how you're going to make money. Right. The second way is get someone else in to run what you've already got. So if someone comes and runs it, they take 50%, you take 50%, but you're not running anymore. So you buy back your time.
Yeah.
Right. You still make the 50%, and it's still there.
I don't do anything.
But exactly.
Yeah.
That's another option.
Yeah.
Right. The third option is you sell it. You sell it as a product business. The 19-year-old you, or let's say the 23-year-old you, could buy it, and they can buy it from the profit over time.
I was going to say, I can't imagine anyone that's got that.
Yeah,
cash,
they have, by the way.
Yeah.
You'll be shocked.
Yeah.
I'm shocked how many people.
Yeah.
My cameraman Dudley, he's got a chunk of money in the bank, right? You'll be shocked. There's some people like him that have worked their fucking asses off, that have hustled and they got money in the bank.
Yeah.
But that aside, they might not necessarily have business that works.
Yeah.
Right. So I see with the business you're talking about, like training wheels business as well, right? So I don't know. There's just something to think about.
Yeah.
But I can see your mind is fragmented between the old life and the new life,
100%.
and you need a plan.
I think I have one. Just maintain what I'm doing whilst
It's not.
80%.
It's not a great plan.
It's not, is it?
No. If you went in a little bit different, you said, and this is what I should have fucking done when I started 5 years ago. Say, right, the podcast is going to make fucking money.
Yeah.
And it's a side hustle, and you make it make money, because then you can drop what you've got, and it won't matter.
Yeah.
Right now, you can't quite drop it.
Can't quite drop it.
And so, best step one is probably say, both options are on the table, right? Step one is someone could come in and run it. Let me look around. Let me have talk to a few people. Maybe keep it going, but then figure out how you're going to make money from the new thing that you're doing. So as soon as the new thing starts overtaking the old thing, revenue-wise, that's it. You're fucking free.
Done.
If it dies, it doesn't matter. If you give it to someone else and they kill it, it doesn't matter. Right?
Yeah.
This, by the way, could be our first podcast episode.
It could, yeah.
I don't mind giving you the full footage. How about I give you the full footage of this episode as your first episode?
Appreciate it. Yeah.
Yeah?
That'd be amazing.
You put it up and you tag me.
I'll tag you.
All right? This is your first episode.
Amazing. Yeah.
Well done. You don't need a studio, mate. We just need a shopping mall.
Sure.
We got permission to film here today,
Wow.
which is the first time in 5 years I've ever had permission from a shopping mall. Normally they kick me out by now.
It's different
So-
as well, interviewing people in
Exactly.
shopping malls, isn't it? Yeah,
So
yeah,
I'm going to
change
give you
the
all
thing.
of this footage, this whole thing.
Yeah.
Maybe this could be your first episode.
First episode,
Right?
Yeah.
Well done, man.
Doing it.
I know. Okay, I'm a little bit overgoing you, but I'm also proud of you.
No,
I'm
not
like,
at all, I
I feel like I
appreciate it.
found someone who's like coming onto the journey with me.
I'm
You know,
really-
going to help people,
I'm so motivated
teach
to do
them.
this, but I know it's going to take a bit of time. I've got a little bit of traction on the YouTube channel already, and TikTok from previous stuff I spoke about, but it wasn't it. You know what I mean? So this is it. Converting the channels over to the podcast, just
Exciting, man.
make it happen.
Exciting.
Yeah.
And again, I think 1 + 1 = 11. So like, some people I know, this is weird. Some entrepreneurs think they're competing with me. They're like, oh, I'm doing content like Simon Squibb and I'm going to be better. And I know, man, if you're helping people break free and do what they love, we're fucking in it together, man. We're the army together in this. Because you know who the enemy is? Big corporates. The education system that's trapping people's minds. They're my enemy. Never someone else doing another podcast that helps people like you. Never. You're my fucking friend. I will fight for you. I will be dead soon. You'll still be doing this when I'm long gone, man. I need it. I need you to do it.
I'm going to do it, yeah.
Right? Because I'm not even seeing my kid anymore because I'm working so fucking hard on this.
that's great.
I need someone like you to step in and fucking help. I'm
Do
excited.
you think the podcast isn't the thing that's going to gain the traction?
It's a start.
Yeah.
I don't really
You think
like
it needs to
podcasts
be mixed
anymore.
in. You don't like it, yeah.
Step by step though, man. It's a good first step. If it gets you starting to focus on it as a business, I'm all for it.
Well, you
right.
think it should just be the media in general, like what you do?
It depends on what you love to do. Let's get to that, because I think what you have done with your existing business is you haven't spent enough time thinking about what you love to do. You've done some things that you like to do.
Golden handcuffs, isn't it? Drags you
Exactly.
back in.
Don't ever fucking own a business that has golden handcuffs.
Yeah.
Right?
The cash is too good, but not good enough.
It would have been good if you'd gone into it with like, I'm going to make enough money from this and learn some shit, and then I'm going to let it fucking die. Do you know who I really love? Ricky Gervais. One of the reasons I love him is he did The Office for 2 seasons and then stopped. You know how much money he could have made if he kept doing The Office? Now, he sold it to America as a license. That's also clever, right? He sold it to someone else to do in another market. But he fucking killed it, right? Because these things can't own you.
Did you see his post the other day when he quit his job and then had 6 months saving, and he went all in and said, I'm going to give it 6 months to be a comedian.
All in is a whole nother element.
Yeah.
And
that's a scary.
that's where you're a little bit trapped. Well, because you've come. I don't know what happened to you at 19, but I'm pretty sure something hard happened to you, right? Because you know from
I
pain.
started a garden business, just like you did.
You're fucking like a clone of me.
free van.
Like a taller, more handsome version of me right now. Younger,
I-
more handsome, taller version of me.
I had 6 employees at like 19 doing the gardening business. It was going well. And then I got pulled away from it. You know, it wasn't what I wanted to do. Thought it was going to be easy with that confidence I had from starting that first business to do other businesses. Started a subscription box business, and it just flopped. You know, just fell. And I think that knocked me for one. And then I've just been sort of climbing my way back, and just all these journeys.
When you say you got knocked by it, I reckon whoever was in your life at that time knocked you about it. Because actually, you know what? As entrepreneurs, I fucking love failing.
Yeah.
Like, that's how I learn. You know, I've made a lot of money succeeding. I can't actually put an exact pinpoint on why.
Yeah.
But when I failed, I know exactly what I've learned. Like, failure is fucking awesome. My failures, I talk more about my failures than I do my successes because I have more lessons from it.
Yeah.
Right? So your failures, you should dig in a little bit there because I don't know, that's another interesting topic.
Yeah.
Your failures are making you who you are now. And the fact you've had a success is kind of a trap. It's the opposite to good.
Say, everything I start now, the businesses I start, they all work.
Annoying,
not
isn't
to
it?
A big like my agency, you know, everything it works, but it's not to the level where it needs to be. So I end up with multiple income streams, which I'm not really that bothered about.
Yeah, plus that's an annoying term, multiple income streams. It's one thing you really fucking love that pays the bills.
Yeah. So I feel like I'm plucking these incomes from different places, which I'm grateful for.
So just take it. Sorry to interrupt you.
Go on.
I've got to run. I apologise. Just do me a favour, right? Try to give yourself a whole day. Tomorrow's Saturday, right?
Yeah.
And just go real deep on what you love to do. Make a list of all the things you love to do. Make a list of all the things you hate to do, and make a. And this is really cheesy, but make a kind of visualization plan in your head of like what it is you want to achieve 10 years from now. Now, I want to fix the education system. That's it might be I'm dead before this happens, but that's my plan, right? But now if I tell you that, you'd probably be willing to join me and rally around it, right?
Yeah.
That purpose matters more than the business model. But once you've got the purpose, put a business model around it. Like, how are you going to make money? Now, it can be you use your Amazon skills. Like, I'm doing hoodies. I'm selling hoodies, right? We're struggling. I'll put this the right way. I'm struggling to think about how the best way is to sell them. Right? If we put them through certain systems, we lose. If we put them in TikTok shop, we lose 20%, 30%. And I want that money to go to fund people's dreams. So I'm struggling. Maybe it's stuff like that we could team up on. But I'm kind of getting to like, you've got an existing skill set.
Yeah.
How can you apply it to something with more purpose? Right? And then take what you love to do, make sure that's what you're doing. And the things you don't love to do, find someone else to do them. Maybe a co-founder. Maybe go join an organisation. You could come and work with me. You know, maybe there's a way to go, you see? Because it's much quicker. I can save you 5 years.
Yeah.
I've done it for 5 years. You see what I mean? Like, and I can promote your podcast tomorrow, which I will anyway. But the point I'm getting to is like, you can spend 5 years building up on your own if you want. Why don't we as entrepreneurs just join up as an army and fucking free the slaves?
Amazing. I want to help as well. I've got this need to, I feel like it's glamorised too much. You know, I do want to give back.
I agree.
Sure.
But I also don't want to de-glamorise it because I think people always say, oh, it's so hard being an entrepreneur, it's so hard. You haven't worked for someone since you were 19 years old. You know how fucking hard it is to work for people?
Yeah.
People that tell you to go in this shitty shop here with no daylight all day, stand on your feet all day selling some shit shoes that you don't give a fuck about. That's what I mean. Like, these people in here have got it fucking harder than entrepreneurs.
For sure.
And we all complain as entrepreneurs because we've got ourselves a bit of a bubble. But the difference is, being an entrepreneur is painful at the beginning, but gets more joyful over time because you're free, your time's free. Whereas if you work for someone else, it's easy at the beginning, but gets harder over time. As an entrepreneur now, you built something up. Yeah. You could, in theory, walk away with 50% of the income forever and someone else running it.
Yeah.
Whereas if you work for someone else and you quit, you lose your salary. That's it, it's gone.
But I've got a nice lump in the bag.
That's another thing as well. Yeah. That's a separate thing. But the point I'm trying to get to is if you work for someone else for 9 years, and you quit now, you've got nothing. Whereas now, you can quit your own business and it's not the end. And that's the difference. That's the major difference for people, right?
Yeah. I still feel like I'm being sucked into the survival mode, and I'm well aware. I think that you can't create whilst you're in that survival mode. You can't create anything meaningful.
Yeah. It's in your subconscious, that is,
Yeah. I feel that.
I did the Tony Robbins thing and whack you around the face. Because that really fucks you up,
It's true,
But, however, survival mode also creates pain. Pain creates outcomes because it means you won't fucking stop. Right? That's why when people suddenly are told, like, you're going to get diabetes, they go to the gym. You need that pain. So don't kill it, right? Don't kill that survival instinct's good. You just need to slightly get out of fight or flight. Fight or flight part of your brain will turn on whenever you start thinking about money, right? You just turn that bit off so your creative brain can live. That's all it is. It's just slightly moving your brain power. Don't stop the fear, because I don't want you to fail. Fear stops you from failing, right?
I work
it's good.
With fear, for sure.
Good. Fear's good, But just don't let it limit your creativity. which it is doing right now. I've
is,
noticed
for sure,
it. Yeah.
yeah.
So your
I'm
podcast
quite
doesn't have
convinced.
enough creativity around it yet.
Yeah.
And it's
Yeah.
because you're still in fight and flight. Every time you think about your podcast, you are going into fight and flight a little bit, which means your creativity juices get suppressed. Plus, you've got something else on your mind, another business.
Yeah.
All right?
It's juggling that whilst trying to give it the time it deserves.
Totally.
Then I feel like my days list turns into a to-do list rather than like going all in on the creativity list. You know exactly what I mean.
Give yourself 6 months to
Yeah.
plan out. Start doing podcasts. This is
I've
episode
got
1.
my first guest booked in next week.
Great.
Yeah,
Who's?
yeah.
I'm your first guest. Fuck whoever that person is. Who is the second guest? Joking aside. Who's?
Ben Alistair? Do you know?
Ben
He's got
Alistair.
that 1 million followers online.
Yeah. Yes, Ben. I know you really well, mate.
No, you don't.
I will
got
know
no
later.
shout
I'm
out,
so. All right, Ben. I will know later. Episode 2, folks. Much better than this episode. Episode 2. Go watch it. But just plan it out a little bit by making it a side hustle that turns into a profitable business.
Yeah.
Then your fight or flight will be less engaged.
Yeah.
Right, because you won't be thinking about, I'm losing this, oh my God, I'm going to be 19 again with no money. You're going to be the guy that has one business that's done well, either sold it or someone else is running it, and you've got this new thing that is going to make fucking money and you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah. This is it. Yeah. This is the media thing.
All right.